So you're here for a catch-up on what happened in 2018's God of War and what it might mean for Ragnarok when it arrives in November. Now obviously there's a big spoiler warning here if you haven't finished the game first, so consider this your one and only chance to stop watching if that's the case. Okay, so here's the short version. At the end of God of War, Kratos kills Balder, causing Freya to swear revenge, and then takes Atreus to Jotunheim to scatter the ashes of Kratos' wife and Atreus' mother, Frey. However, when they get there, they discover Frey was actually a giant called Laufey, making Atreus half god, half giant, and with another name you might recognize, Loki.
The giants called me... Loki?
That's the basic ending. We're told Fimbulwinter is coming, a 3-year great winter that precedes Ragnarok, the Norse apocalypse, and is also what amounts to a post-credit scene. Now a lot of people missed this initially because you had to go back to Kratos' house after everything had concluded. Do that and a flash forward shows Thor arriving at the door several years later. It's a brief tease however and ends after Kratos asks him what he wants. So what does it all mean? Well, let's get into a little more detail on everything we know. It's obvious from the title that we're getting some Ragnarok action, with Thor and Freya up against Kratos and Atreus.
I will rain down every agony, every violation imaginable upon you.
Freya made it very clear she wanted to punish them for killing her son Balder, while the promo art and trailers have repeatedly shown her attacking Kratos. Thor, on the other hand, also probably has some issues with Kratos killing Balder, who was his half-brother, as well as Kratos and Atreus killing his two sons Magni and Modi. We also know that Odin will be making some sort of an appearance in the game after only appearing by name before or through his eyes, ravens that watch the world for him. In the previous game he was seeking the Jotnar or Giants' gift for prophecy to help with Ragnarok. Odin wanted to use this ability to see the future and help avert the apocalypse. When the Jotnar wouldn't help, he sent Thor to slaughter every giant in Jotunheim, and when the game picks up, Balder is checking out the remaining Jotnar in Midgard.
And here I thought your kind was supposed to be so enlightened, so much better than us, so much smarter. And yet you hide out here in the woods, like a coward.
One odd thing here is that while we never find out why Frey dies, she seems to expose Kratos and Atreus to Balder intentionally. She made plans for her own funeral that included marking trees to be used for her pyre. The trees she chose were part of a spell that had been hiding her and her family from Odin, and removing them broke the spell, exposing Kratos and more specifically her half-giant son Atreus.
There's been a protection stave around our entire woods. But... the stave's broken there. Did you cut those down?
She had marked the tree she wished used for her pyre.
There's a lot of questions surrounding Frey's death. Mimir says that giants don't really die of old age, but the fact that Kratos isn't blaming or pursuing anyone suggests Frey had a natural end. But more importantly, Frey's actions in removing the trees hiding Kratos and Atreus directly leads to all the events of the first game. That one action set in motion everything that leads to Balder's death, which in turn causes the onset of Fimbulwinter and ultimately Ragnarok. If the giants can see the future, then Frey did it all deliberately, causing everything that happens in the first and now second game. But to what end? It may all be part of a bigger plan we don't know yet, because the Jotnar's talent for prophecy is displayed very clearly at the end of the game. When Kratos and Atreus reach Jotunheim, they discover an ancient crumbling mural that shows everything the pair have done up until that point. There's also a panel showing the future that only Kratos sees. What that depicts is a little contentious. It shows Atreus cradling a fallen bearded man, joined by some sort of snake-like cord from mouth to mouth. The obvious interpretation is that Kratos falls in battle, with a lot of theorists suggesting it could even be Atreus responsible for the death. Fathers killing sons is a reoccurring theme in God of War. There's a side mission involving a bandit stabbed in the back by his own child, which Atreus fixes on, for example, while Kratos later admits to his son that he killed his own father, Zeus. Atreus even takes a shot at Kratos after he destroys the first gate to Jotunheim, so we know he has similar rage issues to Kratos, who, in the original game, kills his own family as a result of Zeus's manipulation.
You are not ready for this!
I am ready!
However, it seems unlikely as a fallen man doesn't match Kratos in any of his previous appearances in the mural, and despite various fan translations of the surrounding runes suggesting words like father, mourned and betrayal, it probably isn't him. Knowing what we know about the game Ragnarok now, there are some other interesting options. For example, the man in the image has his right arm obscured by damage on the wall. Tyr, the Norse god of war, who we know is appearing in the sequel, classically dies after losing his arm to Garm, a god that guards the castle of Hel in the Norse underworld. Another far more out there option is it could be a future Atreus. That last one is a reach, but there's some evidence to suggest it could be possible. Jormungandr, the World Serpent, is technically Loki's son, and an entry in the first game's lore says he was knocked back in time to the game's present after battling Thor at Ragnarok. Mimir even mentions the snake finds Atreus familiar while telling everyone he's from the future. Fenrir, likely the giant wolf teased in a recent Ragnarok trailer, is also Atreus/Loki's son, one of 3 children he has in Norse mythology with Angrboda, a new character introduced to Ragnarok. Obviously, with Atreus and Angrboda both being teens and not even meeting until some point in the sequel, it implies some kind of timey-wimey stuff is going on. And if Atreus' children can come back from the future, why not a grown-up, more apocalyptically capable Atreus?
Maybe that's what Mother wanted.
We do not know what Mother wanted.
So that's everything we have on the ending of 2018's God of War, as well as a few things we're sort of guessing at based on what we know. If you've got a theory, let us know in the comments, and stay with GamesRadar for more on God of War Ragnarok.